What is up, guys, and welcome back to 3304's special segment, The High Five. I'm Sophie Tarabola here with Colby Crawford, and today we will be covering our top 5 ACC rookies of the year. And then we will dive into our up high, down low, too slow. Colby is going to hit it off and go into our 5th candidate for our top 5 spot. And we gave it to TJ Parker, defensive lineman from Clemson. What do you think?
Yeah, starting out in our 5th spot, TJ Parker, a defensive lineman for Clemson. We know how Dabo Swinney loves and can find those defensive lineman prospects. So, top 50 prospect, he's already made his mark with 4 sacks and 23 tackles this year. His 8.5 tackles for loss are not just impressive for a freshman, but they rank 24th nationally. He's been a consistent threat in the backfield, notching a tackle for loss in each of the past 5 games for Clemson. Clemson's defense certainly looks like bright future with Parker on it.
Yeah, I agree. And in our number 4 spot, we have Georgia Tech's wide receiver, Eric Singleton Jr. What do you have to say about him?
Yeah, you know, there was a massive hole left on that Yellow Jackets offense last year with the departure of Nate McCullum going to UNC. So Eric Singleton has really stepped up as that number 1 option for the Yellow Jackets. So far, he's had 28 catches for 472 yards, and he's found the end zone 5 times. Who could forget his explosive performance against that same Tar Heel squad last week? 8 catches, 117 yards. He's a speedster who has quickly made his name on this Yellow Jackets offense.
I agree. And we have Florida State's right tackle, Francis Maui-Goa.
Yeah, on this program, we shout out to recognize the boys in the trenches who do the dirty work. And ever since Maui-Goa arrived in Coral Gables, he has been a brick wall at right tackle for the Hurricanes. With a Pro Football Focus pass blocking grade of 81.8, this young man hasn't allowed a sack or even a pressure in the last 4 games, making him Tyler Van Dyke's best friend, I'm sure. Against Clemson, he was an impenetrable force, not allowing a single pressure. You know, Francis is proving that the battle at the line of scrimmage is where games are won and lost. And this is really impressive for a freshman to step in there and just be such an elite force on that line.
No, I totally agree. It's impressive work by him. And number 2, we got to give it to Kevin Concepcion.
Yeah, I mean, this is a tough one. Arguably, Kevin Concepcion could be a number 1 spot here, but an underrated guy out of high school, only a 3-star prospect, he has quickly become the go-to guy for the Wolfpack. You know, he's had 42 receptions for 493 yards and 6 touchdowns. His production has been off the charts. Even with the switch at quarterback halfway through the year going from Brennan Armstrong to MJ Morris, Concepcion's performance hasn't missed a beat, ranking 15th in the nation in total targets. He had 5 catches for 83 yards and 2 touchdowns last week against Clemson. So for being a true freshman, he's posting some incredible numbers.
I agree. There's definitely some competition here. In our number 1 rookie spot, we got to give it to Ruben Bain Jr.
Yeah, another Hurricane shown up on this list. What he's done in the last 7 games after missing the first game is incredible. The pinnacle right here, coming off that edge. Mario Cristobal has maybe found his edge for the next couple years before he leaves for the draft. But Ruben Bain, you know, he's racked up 6.5 sacks, like I said, after missing the first contest and forced 2 fumbles. So he's had 4 of those 6.5 sacks in the last 2 games against UVA and Clemson. So he's coming on strong at the end. So his play style is a relentless force that quarterbacks must fear, and they have to account for him on every snap. Now, while he was a top 75 recruit, yes, but his play screams future top draft pick. Now, Sophie, let's go into the up high segment.
Let's do it. And for up high, I got to give it to our very own Virginia Tech. Rather than putting Florida State or Louisville at number 1, I'm going to have to go with Virginia Tech. Tech has only lost once in the conference, that being to Florida State, who is still undefeated. Kyron Drones demonstrates that he is adapting to his offense and team and how to make plays on the field, and it is directly reflecting how Virginia Tech has moved forthright with their offense. It was only a dream a month ago to see Virginia Tech projected to play in several bowls, but they are working hard to make it a reality in 2023. Although they still need to win 2 games, the schedule allows them to achieve those 2 victories. Their lone remaining home game against North Carolina State and their road games against Louisville, Boston College, and Virginia won't be effortless. But after a 1-3 start, all you can hope for at this point in the season is that they have a chance.
Yeah, so now let's go to the down low of the week.
Well, for our down low, we have to repeat it again with UNC. UNC was number 2 in the ACC for weeks, just short of Florida State, now standing at 5th in the ACC right now with a conference record of 3-2. Losing to some of the lower-ranked teams like UVA and Georgia Tech at the time, UNC was undefeated, and now we have seen a double loss for them, one being UVA in Tar Heel territory. Georgia Tech scored 2 touchdowns within the last quarter, keeping UNC at their score of 42. And Georgia Tech rising 46 points in just minutes. The 2 consecutive losses for UNC brought them down from their undefeated streak, questioning the confidence of the players and team as a whole. With previously destroying teams with more competition than UVA and Georgia Tech, UNC rammed their team headstrong into the 23 season, but it looks like their horns are tired of butting.
Yeah, I mean, just another disaster class from Mack Brown and the Tar Heels. They've really let that season go off the hook. But now for our too slow play of the week, Sophie.
So for our too slow ranking, we got to give it to the Orange of Syracuse. Syracuse started strong in their season by defeating teams like Colgate, Western Michigan, Army, and Purdue. But when it came to their own conference, Syracuse has not been able to score over 14 points in the last 4 games, tanking their ranking in the ACC. This being, we have to put them at the bottom spot for our placing today. Sorry, Orange, but that safety force by Cole Nelson and Antoine Powell-Ryland really sums up the way your season has gone of late. And that today we have our 3304 segment, The High Five, with Colby Crawford and me, Sophia Tarabola. And thank you for joining.